I would be remiss if I didn't show some love to a guy who had a career night in year 4, who had his fifth-year option declined this past offseason. Instead, the Ravens decided to extend him, something that caught him by surprise. He's now in Baltimore through 2026. It's an extremely team-friendly deal given his first-round status several years ago in 2021 out of Minnesota. That is number 7. That is somebody who is becoming a true number 2 wide receiver for this team and is starting to stack games. It's somebody who appears to be in a great headspace. He's comfortable, and obviously he's playing freely and confidently right now, and that is Rashod Bateman. And he caught up with the Baltimore Banner. Gianna Jade, friend of the show, beat reporter for the Banner, had this quote from Rashod that he shared with reporters. The media said that me and Lamar don't have a connection, but we do, and we showed it tonight. Rashod goes 4 receptions for 121 yards. That was a game high in the receiving category. He had a touchdown, a long of 59, 4 targets. He caught all 4 balls that were passed along his way by Lamar. And they did have that improvisation connection. They did have that vertical threat connection. Bateman has never not been an elite route runner in this league. He has never not been an elite separator. But it's all starting to come together now. And on top of that, the most important piece to his puzzle, and Ronnie Stanley can relate to this, availability and health. Those are the 2 things that have knocked these guys in recent years, especially Rashod. And now that you're seeing him have that on his side, oh, it's paying dividends for him. That 49-yard touchdown pass to Bate from Lamar traveled 58.3 yards in the air. It was Lamar's 4th longest completion of his career and the longest since week 12 of 2022. And look at this, next-gen stats. Bateman's accounted for Jackson's 3 longest completions so far this season. So big play Bate, big game Bate is starting to become a thing. And if he can complement Zay Flowers and he can continue to be reliable, obviously one of 2 Lamar Jackson's interceptions this year was due to his bobble, but he's put that behind him. And it's a small blemish in what has otherwise been a really productive year so far for a 4th-year player that's had a lot going against him in recent years, whether it was the self-inflicted online behavior, whether it was the personal issues that he dealt with off the field, whatever it was. But Rashod Bateman is starting to round out into form, and it could not be coming at a better time for this Ravens offense. The highest graded Ravens across the team, according to PFF. Bate was there as well, top 5, 80.9 overall. Marlon Humphrey led the way at 93.9. Lamar, 92.7. Mark Andrews finds his way onto this list, 83.3. And, of course, the King, 80 flat. A couple defensive players on that list, obviously, or at least just Marlon. The rest of them key contributors to the offensive side of the group. And speaking of contributions, Arthur Maulet has officially made it to the 53-man roster. His 21-day window from injured reserve was coming down to an end. And the nickel corner, who had arthroscopic knee procedure done later in the summer, I should say, could potentially make his season debut, regular season-wise, coming up on Sunday in Cleveland. The corresponding move, they waived inside linebacker Josh Ross, the former undrafted rookie out of Michigan. Big special teamer for them. Hopefully he clears waivers. They'll try and get him back on the practice squad, I would imagine, like they did with Saleh a week or 2 ago. But number 10, physical nickel corner, great blitzer with timing and instincts. Savvy AFC North veteran. going to have a chance to get involved in this defense and calm things down on the back end for Zach Orr's group. As far as Marlon Humphrey, Sarah and I spoke earlier today on our Ravens lunch hour live stream that he was seen doing squats in street clothes, kind of gingerly walking on the sideline after he exited the game with a knee injury, according to the ESPN broadcast. Marlon had, obviously, his 2 picks in the first half were paramount. But that'll be something to watch here on a short week. Well, Marlon and Zay, those are the 2 ones that I'll be watching in particular. Will those 2 guys practice? Because Zay had that ankle rolled up on. And, of course, Marlon ended up leaving and not returning. By the way, Mike Evans down for the next several weeks, and Chris Godwin's season over with that dislocated ankle. Roquan Smith under review by the NFL right now for a hip drop tackle on that Chris Godwin tackle in garbage time. Tough sledding. I feel terrible for Chris. By all accounts, he is just a genuine dude, was heavily involved in the recovery efforts down there in Tampa post-hurricanes. My prayers are up for him. I'm pretty sure he's already had a reconstructive leg injury as well, or a reconstructive procedure. So another big one coming up with his ankle, and he did leave via the cart, and an air cast was on that leg.